Welcome back to another episode of JailBreak Overlander. I'm Richie, and this is JailBreak. And over the last couple of years, I've reviewed a lot of different rooftop tents. All of them are hard shells because I see no advantage in soft top rooftop tents. If you need a tent that fits 4 people, iCamper has a solution. At any rate, that's not what this video is about. I've shown you numerous different types of tents, and I've shown you tents that are trying to emulate the Alucab Expedition 3, which is the tent that I have. This tent comes in at $4,000. The Bush Company tent comes in at $3,700, and the tent I'm about to show you comes in at $3,500. So they pretty much cover the gamut. It's all a matter of a couple of $100s. I'm going to show you this new tent by Quick Pitch from South Africa and tell you what I think about it honestly. It looks very similar to the Alucab. It looks very similar to the Bush Company tent, but again, with a few subtle differences. This was the first look of the first tent as it arrived in the United States of America. Grab yourself some popcorn, sit back, relax, and check this out. Okay, so on a visit down to the Ozarks, I was down there to check out a sick 70 series Toyota Land Cruiser, right-hand drive turbo diesel, and a shipment came in, and it was this tent, the first one in the United States made by a company called Quick Pitch. Now this looks awfully familiar, doesn't it? I mean, if you own an Alucab, this looks awfully familiar. Same tie downs, same diamond plate, same design, except this is a little more rounded, a little more unrefined. This is not as refined as the Alucab, but it's damn close, and it's several $100s cheaper. Same locking mechanisms, same lift handle, basically the same tent in almost every way. But think about it. A clamshell aluminum tent that pops open, they're going to tend to be the same. The difference on this is it has a extruded hinge, a one-piece hinge that goes from one side all the way to the other. Now that might be a bonus or not. It's tough to tell. Time will tell. Alucab uses 4 separate hinges. If the single hinge broke, the tent won't open. That's all I'm thinking. Otherwise, they're almost identical. The Quick Pitch is larger, it overhangs the vehicle much more, and it's heavier. But again, larger gives you a little more room inside. Underneath, they're almost identical. They both have a USB Anderson connection underneath. Alucab has a cover over it to protect it. The Quick Pitch, as of right now, does not. That could change in the future, but I'm sure the price will change with that. Okay, let's see how quickly we can set this entire tent up from start to finish. There it is, she's up. Now, you'll notice that it has the same type of grab handle that the Bush Company and the Alucab have, except they've spread it out a little bit. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if there's a big difference, but there it is. And also, this has the same type of awning as the Bush Company tent. It's very wide. And being as this is a prototype, there's only 3 of these in existence. These will be for sale almost exactly as is with a few slight improvements. But the awning covers all windows, unlike my Alucab, which I only have the rear window. The Bush Company does the same thing. It's made out of very nice materials. Very nice materials, and this ripstop can be replaced if need be. Same stainless steel latches that Alucab, Bush Company use, etc. And as you saw on the rear, the hinge is one solid hinge. So let's take a look inside the tent. Inside the tent is a very similar layout to the Alucab and the Bush Company tent. Alucab and Bush Company both did a better job on the pockets. These pockets are more than usable. They will work. They're sewn and riveted. They're just not quite as nice as an Alucab. The no-seam mesh is pretty much par for the course, same as the other tents. Zip up, ripstop, and a memory foam mattress, which is about 3 inches thick. Very comfortable, very wide. I mentioned earlier there's a bit of overhang that the Alucab doesn't have that this tent does, but you get a slight bit more room inside. Also, there's an LED reading lamp, but no USBs like the Alucab and the Bush Company. Same Anderson connector underneath, just no protection over the Anderson connection. They did a really nice job insulating under the mattress. It's extruded aluminum, so it's very, very strong. It's a good setup. It weighs in at slightly over 85 kilograms. They supply you with stainless steel hardware to mount this. You can mount it just like you would any other rooftop tent. Nothing really special here. I believe you can mount this right to the rain gutters, but I've never seen it done. And seeing as though this is the first one in the United States, you wouldn't see it done. But they do claim you can mount it straight to the rain gutters, so you'd lose the weight of the rack. Quick Pitch includes a collapsible ladder. Alucab gives you a solid, I think it's like a 7-foot ladder. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me, nor does it collapse. I carry a very similar setup like this myself because my tent is 7.5 foot off the ground. Quick Pitch gives you this very well-built collapsible ladder with a stainless adapter on the top and a stainless adapter on the side. You can mount this anywhere you want on this side or that side. There's no mounting option for the front. And there it is. It's that quick to set up. They're not messing around. Chrome plated, super heavy duty YKK zippers. You've got to love that. No seam mesh screen, obviously. The flaps fall inward, just like the Alucab Expedition. And these are fairly large windows. And there's a lot of room in here. So let's get some dimensions. But this is the inside. This is what you're seeing. This is what you'll receive. It's all very similar to the Alucab and the Bush Company, as you imagine it would be. I do like the way they have the zippers set up for the flap and for the screen, as opposed to my Alucab. The struts that open it are incredibly strong, and they're set up the same exact way as the Alucab. Bush Company put theirs on the outside. The fit and finish on this tent, the powder coating, it's all incredibly similar to the Alucab and the Bush Company. The welds were a little rough for my taste, but it's a South African company, so it is what it is. That could improve with time. This was a prototype. Plenty of room for solar panels up top. And this is me closing it for the first time. It takes a little bit longer to close than my Alucab because it has the awnings that cover the side windows. You have to tuck them in to get it to close properly. Otherwise, same thing. Closes a whole hell of a lot faster than any fold-away tent. Clamshell tents, if you have 2 or 3 people, is where it's at. If you have 1 person, you rule the world. And that's where I live. Now bear in mind, this was a prototype. It was really, really tight to open and close because it had never been opened and or closed before. So after opening it and closing it a couple of times, it was smooth as a baby's bottom. No problemo. Quick Pitch supplies all the stainless steel hardware to mount, as well as mounting brackets. You can put racks on top of the tent. It can hold a mountain bike, kayaks, canoes, the usual. Same thing as the Alucab, same thing as the Bush Company. My final verdict is at $3,500. For $3,700, you can get the Bush Company tent, which is a much better built tent. Or for $4,000, you can get the Alucab Expedition 3. The Quick Pitch isn't quite as refined. It's heavier and it overhangs the vehicle more. But the choice inevitably is yours. When you're spending over $3,000, what's a couple hundred more or less? That's my opinion, at least. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe.